The cocoon of our field, it begins to embed itself to the walls of the field and becomes a permanent fixture. The shaman works with 4 levels of reality, by engaging 4 levels of reality. And I like to briefly describe these. The first one is the literal level, the level of matter of the body. The second one is the symbolic, we can call it the mind. The third is the mythic, that we could call the soul. And the fourth is the essential, that we could call the spirit. Each of these are like Russian nesting dolls that sit inside each other and that inform the levels within it, so that we know that the mind informs the body, the soul informs the mind, and the spirit informs the soul. Each of these domains has its own language. The language of the body is physical, chemical, cellular. The language of the mind are words. The language of the soul are images. And the language of spirit is energy. The gift of the healer is to be able to engage each of these levels separately, to not be confined to one. For example, medicine operates strictly at the level of the body, psychology at the level of the mind, spiritual teachings at the level of the soul, and the very deep spiritual teachings at the level of spirit. The healer and the healers that we're training in the West learn how to switch levels of engagement, so that if you're working with a client and they have a pending engagement with a heart condition because they inherited it from their mother and their grandmother, they don't want to have that encounter at the literal level in the emergency room. You preferably want to have it at the psychological, or preferably at the level of the soul, ideally at the energetic, where you're able to clear the imprint in the luminous energy field before it has an opportunity to organize disease. So the shaman healer is able to work at all 4 levels. The psychologist generally works only at the level of mind, and the tools of the psychologist are language and feelings. The shaman is able to work at the level of the soul. The tools of the level of the soul are images, archetypical images that are laden with power, not just with information, but with power. And the language of spirit, of course, is not even images. The language of spirit is energy, which is the most fundamental language of all. There are dangers associated with energy medicine. And these are dangers that are seldom pointed out by practitioners. I've had many people come to my office after they have seen an energy healer who has applied energy to their cancer only to have their cancer metastasize throughout their body. Because cancer loves energy. It loves blood flow. It loves energy. So we cannot practice energy healing by treating the symptom only. We have to be very, very careful. These are extraordinarily powerful processes that can disinhibit the immune response or can accelerate the growth of a cancer in the body. So there are cautions that the healers must be aware of, and that during the course of your training, as you experience the power of these practices, you become very sensitive to their appropriate use. There are 4 modalities of healing that we work with, and 4 distinct processes. The first one is the illumination process. This is the core healing process, and it has to do with clearing and erasing imprints in the luminous energy field and assisting your client in having an experience of infinity. The second process is working with intrusive energies or entities. In the West, we assume that all of the energies that we experience belong to us. In traditional societies, the healer understands that there are energies that do not belong to you. That these are intrusive energies, and in some cases intrusive entities that do not belong to your client. There are 2 kinds of intrusive energies. The first one is thought forms directed at you. someone that feels that you've hurt them, that you've betrayed them, that when you feel that you've been stabbed in the back by someone. Now, these are generally individuals that we were once close to, that young man or that young woman that feels that you left them and destroyed their lives because you were the love of their life. The resentment and the anger that they feel can penetrate our luminous defenses because we do not recognize them as foreign. These are people that we were once very open to, that we let in very deeply. And these energies can actually embed themselves in the physical body and become crystallized and hardened. And in the jungles, for example, they describe these as spears or arrows, darts, psychic darts that embed themselves in the body and that begin to transmit their poison, which is generally in the form of anger or rage or fear. Anger and fear, the two most deadly poisons in the world. The third process we work with is the soul retrieval process. Now, all of these are founded on the illumination process, on clearing imprints from the luminous energy field. The soul retrieval process, in which the healer journeys on behalf of a client to help them recover a soul part that was lost as a result of trauma or pain. The soul retrieval can accomplish in a couple of sessions what can take years to do in psychotherapy. In psychotherapy, you're retrieving the understanding of why this happened, how it happened. In soul retrieval, you're actually recovering a quanta of energy, a vital life force, not the information, but the energy, and reinstalling that as essential resources that your clients need in order to heal. You're retrieving the energy and reinstalling it in the client's psyche, transmitting it to the client. The fourth healing process that we work with are the death rites, which we have largely forgotten in the West. Throughout the America, there are groups of indigenous peoples that are keepers of a body of prophecy that talks about the upheavals that are happening in the earth today. The prophecies for the Inca are known as the prophecies of Pachacuti. Pachacuti means the earth being turned over, being turned upside down. And they speak about this time that we're living in until the year 2012 as being a time of mulching and upheaval. So the prophecies speak about a new human being born on the planet today. I believe that we have the opportunity to become that new human in our generation, to become a new species, to become Homo luminous, no longer Homo sapiens. And I believe that today the question is not can we, but dare we take that quantum leap into who we're becoming today.